Now, in the last video, I started with this picture here, and we talked about the diameter, which is our distance all the way across our circle. But in the questions in this task, we're not going to be starting with that measurement. We are going to be given the radius, which is the distance from the edge into the middle. Now, that is different because if I go from the edge into the middle, I'm only halfway to the other side. But that gives us an important relationship, which is that the diameter of a circle is always double or 2 times the radius. So the radius goes from the edge to the center, but here we're going from the edge to the center and back to the edge. So it's 2 lots of the radius. So when we look at a question, if we're given the radius in that question, we're going to have to times it by 2 to get the diameter to put into the formula we're using in the last task. So we're going to do that. We're going to look at some examples and see that in action. So here are 2 examples, one that I'm going to do and one for you to try before I go through it. So let's run through this one. So the first one here, we have C equals pi times D. But the very first step here we need to do is work out what the diameter is. Now the diameter, or D, is equal to 2 times the radius, which is 11. So that is 22 meters that we've got there. Now we're going to put it into this bit. So that is C equals, and instead of pi, we put in 3.14. Instead of the diameter, we worked out that that is 22. Don't put the 11 in, that's only halfway, that's the radius, but here we've got the diameter. So we're in 3.14 times 22, and we're going to look at that on our calculator again. So I just brought my calculator out. So 3.14 times 22, and that gives us 69.08. Make sure we add some units. Well, this is in meters. So our answer is in meters. Okay, so we've got one for you to try here. Have a go, pause the video, and I will go through that in just a moment. Excellent. So hopefully you paused the video. We have C equals pi times D still. That's always our starting point. But we need to find what D is first. So D is 2 times the radius, which is that distance there. So 2 times 7, which gave me 14 centimeters. Now we can use our C equals pi times D. So we've got C equals 3.14, because that's pi, times, and D here is 14, or our diameter is 14. So we're doing 3.14 times 14, which is 43.96. And we're working with centimeters. Excellent. So we now have an extra little skill there, which is instead of working with our diameter, we can work just with our radius if we know we need to double it first and then put that number into our formula. So have a go with those. That is what all your questions are on in this third task.